Good evening, my dear friends, fellow Singaporeans, residents of Tampines. Thank you for coming. I'm Fong Chin Leong, NSP candidate for Tampines GRC. In GE 2011, we secured 43%, and we thank you for that. This year, we are back, more determined than ever. In 2011, despite fielding 3 new and young candidates, we have your full support. We thank you. Now we are back contesting with a strong team headed by our President, Sebastian Teo, our Sec-Gen, Lim Tin, our Assistant Treasurer, Ms. Norlila, and Mr. Chong Hong Heng, which are activists. We hope to convince a further 10% of voters this time round to vote us in. Can you help me to confirm? Double confirm. Thank you. Thank you. During our numerous home visits in Tampines carried out after the last GE, the high cost of living remains one of the key concerns of the residents. They also commented that the increasing cost of living and their wages have not been risen proportionately for the last 4 years. The vast majority of Tampines residents are in the middle income group, which we call the sandwich class, myself included, and many of my fellow comrades as well. Our millionaire government has lost touch with the ground. This was confirmed by many of their grassroots leaders, not ours, their grassroots leaders, who are equally frustrated and disappointed with them. The national policies that will churn out will affect us, the sandwich class, the most, and many have fallen through the cracks. Do you agree with me? The great influx of foreign laborers has displaced many lower and middle income Singaporeans from their job, a great concern. This cannot continue. And the NSP will fight for you in Parliament, for every Singaporean, that all the top priority in the engagement of workforce over foreigners of similar skill set. Are you with me? There must be quotas imposed on foreign PMET seeking employment in Singapore. We are talking about S-passes and E-passes. We challenge the PAP to return this job to our fellow Singaporeans. I'd like to emphasize again that NSP has nothing against our foreign friends. We recognize that in certain areas, sectors, foreigners has made significant contribution to our country as well. But the bad policies of the PAP have to change. It's only fair for us Singaporeans. The NSP is against the white paper, which proposes the population to increase to 6.9 million or even more. Are you happy with it? The Singapore of today is already overcrowded and the infrastructure strained. We shall make the call in Parliament for more considered study as to optimal population size for Singapore in both sociological and economical terms. The NSP proposed we should only start growing the population gradually when its infrastructure is ready. The disastrous mistake of the past decade with regards to population growth without proper infrastructure planning must be avoided. To increase the total fertility rate, hopeful parents should be provided with comprehensive security net for their children up to 18 years old. Are you in favor of our proposal? Are we Singaporeans asking a lot? No. That's right. The government has already broken its promises to Singaporeans to return their CPF personal saving at age 55. I quote the late Dr. Toh Chin Chai, the founding chairman of the PAP, a breach of the CPF fundamental principle. CPF has lost its credibility, the management of it, in 1984, unquote. The reason given for reholding our CPF, the reason are some will squander the CPF saving on inappropriate lifestyle. Do you agree with that? No. This reason does not justify withholding of Singaporeans' saving, as the number who squander away their life saving are small, and certainly less than 5% of all account holders. For this, NSP proposed that the family members to be entitled to put up a case that the person's CPF saving should be withheld in light of his problematic spending tendency. Is this too difficult to implement? This is similar steps that family members can take if they are aware that the person could be a problematic gambler. They can do that to the gambler. They can't do that for the CPF. As for other CPF account holders, the life saving must be returned to them, as originally promised. Singapore today has one of the highest inequality gap in the world. This threatens social cohesion and national unity. There's an argument, there's an urgent need to narrow the widening inequality gap. The NSP proposed that one significant means which would narrow the gap to allow Singaporeans living in private property to be able to buy HDB apartment at cost plus and be entitled to buy another one in the resale market. This should be done before the immigration of foreigners into Singapore, as these immigrants would further push up the cost of housing even more. On behalf of Singaporeans, NSP also want the PAP to increase funding on healthcare to reduce the burden of Singaporeans, increase investment and funding in public transport, subsidize transport to the senior citizens and physically disabled, and all students, including the tertiary students. And importantly, We hope the government will reduce the GST back to 5% to help all Singaporeans, especially the poor and underprivileged. All this could be achieved if we reduce the minister pay further. Do you agree? We need to downsize the bloated political appointments and downsizing of our army to reduce the defense budget. It is the responsibility and obligation of the PAP government to provide cheap, good, efficient public transport, affordable housing, and other facilities to its people. The government should not allow transport operators to rake in millions and millions of profit at the expense of Singaporeans. Opposition MPs and NCMPs should sit in the PTC to act as check and balance to prevent this from happening. We hope to be a voice in Parliament to provide checks and balance. And we are committed to serve you on a daily basis if elected. We hope to have your support. Before going to the poll on 11 September, please ask yourself these simple questions. Do you think it's important to have more opposition voices in the Parliament to fight and speak for you? Are Singaporeans losing jobs to foreigners? Are you in favor of an increased population? No. Do you wish to have your CVF saving returned to you when you retire? Yes. Do you have anything to lose when NSP is voted in to speak for you in Parliament? No. Thank you.